Welcome to the 74th episode of the MC Knitting Adventures podcast. My name's Colleen.
And my name is May. Welcome to returning viewers, and for those of you watching us for the first time, we're so glad you can join us. Today we have lots of craft items. Colleen and I have been busy. You've been busy knitting. I've been busy doing crafts. We've got lots of things to share with you. But before we begin, Colleen will talk about what we're wearing.
So first of all, we're going to talk about what May is wearing. And of course, I absolutely love it because it is purple. So it is the Aeque cowl by Hilary Smith Callis. A nice, easy knit. You can use a variegated yarn. You can use a striping yarn. This is a striping yarn, and it's Berroco Comfort Sock.
Now, Colleen, is this a paid-for pattern?
Yes, it is. And Hilary Smith Callis does lots of beautiful patterns. She has lots of nice cowls. She has shawls. So the patterns are really nicely and well written, easy to understand. So if anybody you're thinking of some Christmas gifts, you might be thinking of one of her patterns. So that's what May is wearing. Now I am wearing something called the Filum, and that's by Nelkin. And I chose to do a double wrap. I have to admit I was in the middle of knitting it and couldn't remember what I chose to do. But depending on how you put the beads on, depends on how you do the beads. So I'm just going to ask if you are interested in seeing how to place beads. This is a really nice pattern to do. But it has two different ways of placing beads. So if anybody's interested, comment down below and we'll put that into a technique kind of session, and I'll show you how to place beads. Because this is really nice. It's light, it's double wrapped, and I think you'd like to do it.
Now, if you're talking about placing beads, are you talking about a bracelet, or are you talking about other things? Or can you place beads in like garments and then...
Yes. So Nelkin has shawl patterns where we put beads in. She has sock patterns. She has cowl patterns. All kinds of patterns where she put beads in. And she, once again, really writes patterns well. Right.
Now, somebody also mentioned that they'd like you to do project keepers, like you've got all the equipment for that. Okay. So maybe that's something that you could do too. That would be great.
Absolutely. We can do that. And I'll make sure, maybe we'll write that in our notes and we'll make sure we do that for next time. That would be great. So that's what we're wearing, and next we're going to talk about finished objects. My first finished object is the Bombini Cowl, and that's by Kay F Jones from the Bakery Bears. And here it is. I'll let you hold that up.
Now, you've done all these before. You're just changing it up.
I did. So if you look in the pattern, it starts dark and it ends light. And I started dark and finished dark and put a few extra stripes in. So you can change it up how you'd like. I just wanted it to be grounded at the bottom for me personally, and so that's why I did that. Now the yarn that I'm using is the Regia Premium Merino Yak 4-ply, and it is beautiful yarn to work with.
This turned out nice too. I like the colors. Really it's not usually what you would wear as the green, but it turned out very nice. Like it. Yeah. It's nice to see things in different colors, because if you just see the yarn side by side, and then when you see it knit up, it looks totally different.
Yes, I really like it. So I did ones of those in a navy and a really, really light gray. That's for the mums for Christmas. Hope they're not watching. And then for you, I've done one with a couple of different blues.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And the nice thing about this is there's yarn left over. And so when we take a look in our works in progress, you'll see what I've decided to do that with.
Sounds great.
Okay, so that's my first finished object. My second finished object...
You've been busy again.
Oh, you know, just a little bit. Is the Northern Fringe Cowl. And that's by Cozy Up Knits. So
have you been working on this for a while, or is this something you had like way before that you just
I had finished it, but I needed to do some fringe on it. It's called a Northern Fringe Cowl. It didn't have any fringe, so I needed to do that. But I had to decide. So I'm using the yarn, which is Charisma, and that's by Loops and Threads. I get that at Michael's. Now the thing is, Charisma is not as heavy as the yarn that they used. Okay, so because of that, I had to do a little bit of juggling. So it's not quite as big as that one, but there it is.
That's cute.
I thought it was cute. It's not going to be too much. You could wear it in, out,
I think that'd look great with a dark turtleneck or something like that for the winter.
Yeah, I really am happy with
warm.
it.
Yeah,
exactly. So it's kind of nice when you're working with, this is a bulky weight. I think it is a number 5. When you're working with that, it knits up really quickly. And so, I mean,
you feel more satisfied with your job.
Exactly.
Like if you're like me, I have no patience for like a sweater where you do the arms and the back. That's great. So if you have no patience like me, thick yarn is the answer.
Exactly. So that's that. Now, my next one is another pattern by Cozy Up Knits. It's called There's No Place Like Home. So it's a hat and it is mitts, and I just chose to do the hat. I used some...
That's that photograph that I like.
Yes, you really like
really
that.
Nice
they do a really good job with their pictures.
They do.
This is yarn that I had from before. It was left over from another project. It's called Shelridge Yarns, and it's 100% superwash merino. And it is lovely. It turned out nice.
Oh, I like this.
The texture in the hat really keeps it snug to your head. So
it
really
feels
like
very
it.
thick. Like
Yes,
it's just great.
really, really nice. The pattern was great. I'd love to do another one with a lighter thing so you could see the texture a little bit more, but I really, really like that.
It does have a great texture.
All right, so here's my question, Miss May. I always ask her. She needs to help me. All right, I have pom-poms.
Oh, here we go. Pom-pom question.
And I never know. All right, so I have a lovely one that's white.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have one that's kind of gray with some brown tips to it. I have another one that's kind of gray with a little bit of black to it. I have a black one.
Too harsh.
Too harsh.
Definitely eliminate that one.
Okay, and this one, but it's a little bit small.
You know, my preference, to be honest, was this one right off the bat.
Okay. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, that was my preference.
Yep, not too big, not too small.
Just the size of Montreal. That's a saying here in Canada. Not too big, not too small, just the size of Montreal.
Oh,
brings back childhood memories, doesn't
yes, it does. All right, so that's a good help at making a decision.
Perfect.
All right, perfect. All right, so we'll tuck the rest of those away, and other hats will wait. Now, my last finished object is the Friday Slipover by PetiteKnit, and I use the Berroco Remix Light, and it's 100% recycled fibers. It has nylon, cotton, acrylic, silk, and linen. Now, this pattern I absolutely love.
Paid for?
Paid for pattern. I have knit, you know, the one that has all the...
I know which one exactly what you mean.
Yes, same person, and love her patterns. Now, here is it done.
So nice.
And I love that it's got a doubled over collar at the top, and I'm really, really happy with it. Obviously, it's purple, but I would love to have another one. And this Remix Light is really drapey, if that makes any sense to you. So the nice thing about this is it's going to be nice to be over top of a blouse or a turtleneck or just even a t-shirt. It just, you know, take care.
I think we need to take a photograph after this is all said and done.
Okay.
And with it on, so you can see the length and how it fits and that type of thing.
I really, really like it.
Because that makes a big difference.
Yes, and it is a paid for pattern, but I learned a different type of cast off, and I really, really like it.
Cast off down here?
Yeah, and on the arms and on the neck. So,
it's really nice.
Yeah.
The finish on the arms is great.
I really, really like it.
Nice.
So those are my finished objects. And May, what about you?
Oh, I've got lots of finished objects. Lots and lots of finished objects. But we were having talking about some crafts that we've been up to and some things like that. So I can just save it until then.
Okay, that sounds great. So next we're going to talk about works in progress. My first work in progress is a pair of socks. And it's the Prairie Socks by Kay F Jones of the Bakery Bears. Great pattern. And I am using the leftovers of the Regia Merino Aeque and 4-ply. And oh my gosh, it's...
Can I just interrupt for a second?
Yes.
I noticed on the pattern here, the socks look short. Are they short socks or are they...
They're not as long as I might make them.
Okay. Because that's not your usual.
No. So usually for myself, from the top to where I go to make the heel flap in this kind of pattern, it doesn't mention in there. I usually do about 7.5 inches.
Yeah.
And I can do that because I have really small feet. So it's working out. Now, this texture pattern. So I'm going to do, the dark is going to be the heel, the cuffs, and the toes. And the texture is really, really nice, and it shows up nicely in this light yarn.
Beautiful. This is really nice.
So it's going to suck that in and hold it onto my foot, and I won't have to worry about losing it.
It's got a little bit of stretch in there. Yes.
Now, what I did, I'm glad you noticed that. So what I did, because I may have little feet, but I have an old lady's calves.
Mature. Somebody had said in our last podcast, the word we're looking for now is that, you know how last time
Yes.
I was saying like gray hair and older, I was trying to, and then somebody said mature. That's the
All
word.
right. So
Thank you for that.
So
you have mature lady calves.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Okay.
So what I did was when I cast on, I used a 2.5 millimeter needle. So it's one size up from this one.
Okay.
And I'm really, really happy with it. And I was made sure that when I cast on, it was a little bit looser.
These are going to turn out nice. So how did you like the pattern as far? I know you like that other pattern, and in comparison, are they both equally as nice?
This pattern I had purchased a long time ago and hadn't done. And I really like this pattern. I think it's something that I could do. You know how I always do socks for the kids?
Right.
I could do this for the kids.
Oh, okay.
Because it does have that same thing. And what I may do...
That means it's a good pattern, because you're always doing socks for the kids, and you wouldn't want to do that many if you didn't like the pattern. So,
yeah, it's really, really nice. Because there's texture. It's a paid-for pattern, so I can't say too much. But it doesn't mean that you have to do special things every row.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, so I'm really, really happy with that. So that's my first work in progress.
Again, you've been busy. You're busy,
No, just a little here, just a little there.
That's what happens when you're retired.
And
the weather's getting a little cooler.
Exactly. And you know what? I have to admit, because of COVID, we are not out and about like we used to be the same way.
No, you're correct.
You know?
We tend to stay home more.
Started doing the pickleball thing, which is fantastic, but we are home more than we were. And that's okay, because you've got crafts you like to do. I have crafts that I like to do.
I don't mind it, actually. Yeah. I've gotten into a routine now of being home.
Exactly. So it's really, really good. I think that gives you a little bit of extra time.
But I am looking forward to some more adventures, like knitting adventures. So
absolutely.
We have a trip, hopefully it'll pan out with the pandemic and everything working out, that we're planning on going on an out east trip next spring. So, and hopefully we can hit all these yarn stores and do that again.
That'll be lots of fun.
Something to look forward to. Okay.
So my next work in progress is called the Skagen Shawl. I'm hoping I'm saying it's right. And it's by Paula Emons-Fuessle. And the reason why I'm doing this, it's got some lace, it's got some texture, and I like that. But it is designed...
Did you say a shawl there?
It is a shawl.
Because I didn't know if it had sleeves in it or not, but looking at the pattern, there's no sleeves.
You're right. It's a shawl.
Okay.
So it was designed for one skein of the remix light.
And I know knitters like, what do I do with the one skein? This is perfect.
Exactly. So what I did, and this is the nice thing about Ravelry, I went on, I put in remix light, and I saw what kind of projects were there. And this project was there, and I thought this is fantastic because I only needed 2 skeins for that vest, and I purchased 3 because I just never know.
Oh,
and so now...
Is it a paid-for pattern?
This one, yes, it is. And so here I am. So you can see the texture, which is
nice.
Lovely. And this is nice because it's kind of... TV knitting, right? It's kind of back and forth. You have to remember where to put texture in. There is going to be lace work, which isn't there yet.
Is there such a thing as TV knitting?
There is such a thing as TV knitting. So let's say, for instance, we watched the movie Red Notice.
What's that?
Which was great. That was the one with the art thieves that we just watched. It was really good.
Reynolds. What's his name?
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. He's awesome. I like him.
Exactly.
He was in it. It was kind of funny and good. And we also watched a good Christmas movie last night too. I can't remember the name of that one.
And it was on Netflix as well.
And it was on Netflix.
It's called Love Hard.
Okay, and it was so cute, and it wasn't like the usual Hallmark movie.
Exactly.
So if you have Netflix and you want to watch a Christmassy movie, it had a nice little twist to it. It was good.
Exactly. So TV knitting is when it's kind of just knit back and forth. Sometimes it's knit a row, purl a row, that kind of thing. If you're doing something complicated, for instance, the lace on this pattern,
You don't want to be watching TV.
If I'm trying to watch TV and there's all this action happening and I'm trying to do this, this is when you'll hear me say, I made a mistake. So that's the kind of thing. So this is good TV knitting.
Very nice. Okay. It's amazing how you can get off. So that commercial, well, there's a bear and the two girls say, it's a bear, and they end up talking about hibernation. It kind of reminds me when we go off topic. Oh. But, here we were talking about knitting, and next thing you know, we're talking about Hallmark movies. It's just amazing to me.
It is amazing how it works out. Okay, so that's that. My next work in progress, it looks pretty close to being done. It's not quite done yet, and that is the Beloved by Tin Can Knits.
Cute.
And I had made one of these for my my great niece, and so it was nice. And we have a friend who's going to be a grandma for the
twins.
A grandma of twins. So the second and third time being a grandma. And so what I did was I bought some of this double knitting merino. And here it is. Now I did buy 2 skeins. I don't need it. And so I'm going to make 2 of these.
Oh, those would be great. White's always really nice for kids things. I like white when you're doing little kids things.
Well, and when they're little, makes sense. And I thought this was great because I think it's December-ish, if I recall correctly. And so that's going to be something nice for the little ones.
She'll love that. Appreciate that.
Exactly. So that's the first one almost done. The second one, oh my goodness, I have to do it before. That's the joy of twins. There we go. So that's that. Oh my goodness, I have 2 more.
Oh my goodness.
I had bought this double knitting merino in a blue as well. And I bought it for some specific projects in line, which we'll show in the crafting adventure. And I had some left. So what I decided to do was to do the Jamie shawl. Once again, Cozy Up Knits. And this is a shawl that has lots of texture in it. And that's what I wanted to use because it's plain yarn. So here's the blue. Now, I will be honest with you. Nice. My cable should be a little bit longer because you're going to kind of see it all mushed up. So if you hold it that way, I'm just going to do that so you can see it. So there's all kinds of texture in this. Once again, this is great. It's a lovely pattern. It's well written. But if you like doing texture, like they have texture here, there's texture in place, there's a little bit of eyelet. It is a lovely pattern. Now it's written for both double knitting and worsted. This is double knitting, and I'm really liking it.
It is really nice. Yeah. I love the color you picked. It's not purple, but it's
nice. Not purple.
And I love all these little different things here.
Those are called baubles.
I like the baubles. Gives it a little bit of texture, a little bit of depth to it and stuff. It's
exactly.
Nice.
I'm really happy with that.
That'll be nice.
And it'll be nice and warm.
You get to wear all this stuff now that the winter's coming. And
exactly.
That's the only good thing about winter.
Well, it's so funny. When I went to put something on, I put on a turtleneck. And I have to admit, I love a turtleneck. So it's nice to be able to wear that again. All right, my last...
2 good things about winter. Turtlenecks and cowls.
Yes, and shawls. And knitwear. And what did the Cozy Up people say? They talked about sweater weather. Sweater weather is what they said. All right, so my last work in progress, and it's almost done. And that is the Christine button cowl. And I used Charisma. This is Charisma Tweed. And that is by Loops and Thread.
My guess, because it's a thicker yarn, this is a quick knit.
It is a quick knit.
That you talked about earlier.
Exactly. And I am very lucky that Miss May here is able to make buttons for me, because there are 2 buttons that are needed to sit. And so these are, once again, a great Christmas knit. Now, this pattern, once again, is knit in a yarn that's a little bit thicker than this. So I just had to adjust how many repeats of the pattern that I did.
That is really nice.
Yeah, and I really, really like it because the buttons aren't buttonholes. I'm not going to say much more, but so you just get to put the buttons on at the end.
I like that.
Me too.
And you know what? I have my buttons, and I don't have them here with me, but when we do our craft section, I can bring down the buttons.
Oh, that would be great.
Right.
So those are my works in progress. So May?
I do have lots of work in progress. Again, I'm saving myself until craft section.
Okay.
Because I've been up to lots and been
You have been very busy, that's for sure. All right, so those are our works in progress, and next we're going to talk about our craft adventures.
Well, Colleen, what have you been up to in craft adventures?
I've been up to a lot. So what I decided to do, I have a great nephew who's turning 1 in January, and my oldest brother is turning 65 in December. And so I had this great idea that I was going to design a pattern that could go from a 1-year-old and go up to a 65-year-old man. And so what I did was I decided I wanted to do a hat. I'd thought about doing, you know, a cowl for some of the people in the family, and I decided, no, I'm just going to do hats all the way across the board. So that's what I did. So I started with the younger one, and what I did was I decided I was going to put their initials in it, so it had some special meaning. So my initial thing was to put the initials in by using pearl bumps, because in Gansey knitting, which is what I was doing, when you knit a Gansey, all the texture comes from where pearls are and where knits are. Now, I showed it to you and you said, oh, I can't see those initials. And I thought, you know, you can't see the initials. I thought, this isn't working. It's not what I wanted it to do. So I decided to do duplicate stitch. And so you can see the initials, and it's interesting to me that I didn't realize that my brother and his oldest, who's a daughter, and then my great nephew, who's the oldest in that family, all have the same initials. It just,
Did they do that on purpose, you think?
I don't know. I didn't ask if it's, I'm going to have to ask. But I'm busy doing what I went, well, just, why did I never think about this? I mean, I thought about my brother and his grandson, but I never thought about my niece.
Oh.
So it's interesting. So let's talk about what I had to do. So I had to figure out stitches, and then I had to use some graph paper, and I'm just going to show you. So I bought this book, and you can get this from Amazon. This says Doreen Woolley.
I love the little sheep on there. They're cute.
Yes, and so this has both 4 to 5 and 2 to 3. And so what I did was May's going to be shocked. I ripped one of the pages out of there because I never do that. And then I photocopied it because I wanted to be able to mess with it. So because
Colleen's funny with books. I have to tell you a little story. Okay. If I have a magazine, like, you know, and maybe I've read the magazine, I put out a table, and then I have a cup of tea, and then I put my tea on the book, Colleen's face just goes, oh, there's a teacup on that book. And, oh, you know. So for her to rip a page out of a book.
I knew you would be shocked. But I thought I needed to do it because I wanted to be able to mess with it.
You pretty much have to do that in this particular
Exactly.
book. You could probably photocopy, like, or maybe there's a copyright.
I don't know. I just knew that I needed to be able to play with it a bit. So I ripped one and copied one, and then I was good. So I had gone online and I had found this. I mean, you can find knitting design paper online that's free. And I found it, but I didn't like how it was making life look. So there is what I did. I got some of those from a free pattern. And then I started doing some design. So you're not going to be able to see it very well, but at the bottom of there's some texture that I designed. And I had to play with it because I was dealing with the number that I needed for the hat.
Oh, Alexis, oh my goodness.
I know. So that was where there was going to be a pearl bump, and where there was, you know, that kind of thing. And then I had to do all the lettering. So I did lettering. And so here we go. So this whole thing started.
This is the first one you did?
This is the first one that I did. Okay, so that's my brother's grandson.
Cute. I love the color you picked, because
one.
it's a nice color for everybody too.
Exactly.
And
so,
initials are spell out map.
Map.
Nice.
Maybe.
Nice.
Exactly. So we had the debate, do you put the periods in between? And we decided that we didn't want people wearing a hat that said map without
Right.
doing that. That was me.
That's cute.
Okay, so that was the first one. Then I have to be mindful. Okay, so then in that family, there's the dad. So this is a bit bigger. So that's this one's dad.
So does this go to the front or the back?
you know what? It doesn't matter. It can go on the side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They can either say, well, that's going to go on the back or that's going to go on the side. It could go right at the front. And then this is
For the mom.
for the mom. So that's that family.
That's going to be great.
So then I decided, okay, so now my brother and his wife and their daughter, my niece, here we go. So then, and right now, you'll see that there is a stitch marker right here at the top. And that, I mean, I know it's bigger than the other one, but the initials are the same. So I just wanted to not have to worry about it so much. So that's my brother, that's his wife, and that's my niece.
There you go.
Now the middle size, so that was for all the
Meredith
women.
is the knitter.
Meredith is the knitter.
Knitter, yeah.
Exactly.
She'll appreciate that.
I hope so, she does. So anyway, and I wanted to get those ready to go away, so that's good.
There you do. You
now-
have been so busy.
Now, what was really interesting is I was okay with the small one and I was okay with the large one, but when I was designing the middle one, it was on me because the letters had to be a certain number of stitches and the designs had to be a certain number of stitches and the ribbing had to be a certain number of stitches. So I had to do some increases and decreases, not by much, just by 2. And that allowed me to get all the texture working out nicely. So it was definitely, I said to May, like I wanted to design this for a while. And I had to sit down and it took me a couple of hours just to play with it and decide what I wanted to do. And I'm really happy how it came out. And this yarn is nice because it's the Merino, it's this one. Okay, so it's James Seabrett double knitting with Merino. And so it is
nice
machine washable. And then I think they're just going to have to hang to dry.
Soft, yeah.
So I'm really happy with that.
Nice.
And I'm hoping, not that I can guarantee it, that they'll get a picture with everybody.
Yeah,
with
that'd
their
be
hat on.
cute. Yeah.
I'd really, really like that. So those are my crafting adventure, and it was a design adventure and a crafting adventure, and I'm really happy that I did it. I think I have a little bit more confidence in doing another design.
Designing?
Yeah, I'm really, really happy with that.
I know designing is so much fun. Like when I do my crafts too, like my miniatures, I like to design my own thing. You know how sometimes when furniture comes, it comes with patterns and they get free patterns, kind of like knitting, I guess.
Right.
And I really like to make my own up. And usually I do that because I have certain thicknesses of wood and certain pieces of wood that I have, because I don't always have the wood that they're recommending. So I like to use up what I have. So then I end up designing something. I get inspiration from those types of things.
Exactly.
And then I design my own thing. For example, I can give you an example. This couch is, well, you know, they're very far. It's a miniature couch. It's very far and few between. I didn't make this. It came like this. But it inspired me to design something that I could do. This one curves. I'm not sure how I would do that.
Right.
To buy this kind of thing is, you're looking at $35. They
Oh
and
my
you
goodness.
can't get this anymore. Like this is really hard to get. It's very good quality, nicely made. So I thought, how could I design a couch that's, you know, good quality, and that's not going to cost an arm and a leg.
Right.
So this is my work in progress type thing. So I decided to design the back of a couch, and what I've done is, if you can see this, is routed some pieces out.
Okay.
And I did get my inspiration from this kind of thing. And what I'm going to do is put material in here and material in here, and then maybe have it. This is the back, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the sides and that yet, but that's my inspiration for
really
that.
Good.
And so that's my kind of designing furniture. So it'll be interesting to see how it's going to look when that's done.
Exactly.
Couch.
It's very interesting because May does a great job, and she's got all the buzzwords when it comes to that kind of thing. So she was talking about routering it out. I went, well, what are you going to do with the hole? Like if there's a hole there, what are you going to do with that? And then she said, look at what I mean by routering.
So I just router some of it to a depth.
Not all the way through.
Not all the way through. So
Exactly.
it's going to be neat when I put the material in here to see what that looks like.
It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
It's funny because when I talk about knitting, sometimes you go, what exactly you're talking about? So it's the same thing. We have it in the opposite way.
So that's a work in progress.
It's
as
great.
you see. So while I was doing that, I came up with, I thought I'd make single beds, and you make the bedding for me. And I thought I'd make a nice little headboard and a footboard for one of my little miniature beds.
Right.
Now I designed this.
Right.
I just have to come up with how I'm going to make the middle part of the bed.
Right. Exactly.
But,
that's really, really nice. I like
yeah,
that.
it'll be a nice little bed, a nice miniature for dollhouse, whatever that
Perfect.
is. Another inspiration, I had gone to a estate sale, and this woman did miniatures, and she
okay.
had taken workshops over the years. You could tell some of her stuff was so well done.
Yeah.
And then one of the items I bought several items, and I like to buy several items because then I have like a template, or I can take her design and then try and make it my own.
Right.
So I picked up this chair that was at her sale that she's obviously done at a workshop.
It is beautiful.
It is amazing. Like, she made that. That's not factory made. That is brilliant. So then I thought, well, I have some material and it's called gator board, and I've never made furniture out of gator board before. Usually I use wood, but this gator board is very hard. It's like what do you call that? Bristol board, only thick with foam in the middle.
Oh,
like
wow!
Foam,
okay.
It's like a thick foam board, and it's really hard. Anyway, so I decided I would try and make a chair.
May.
Just
That's
like that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I think the gold is a bit much, but if I did it differently, I might try a different color. But
no, it looks really nice.
Yeah. So, it turned out not too bad.
It looks really, really nice.
And it's made from that gator board. Yeah.
And it looks like a chair.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a gator board.
Good. It looks like a chair, yeah. That's a good thing. So that was what I've been, that's, time consuming, and cutting out the pattern and figuring out how you did this and what you did.
Right.
So that was kind of figuring out. Then I made, doing a little nautical kind of scene where I'm going to make a couch. I'm going to make, I'm going to design a couch, not this one, this is too fancy.
Right.
But I'm going to design a little love seat or a couch.
Okay.
That's going to be in like a nautical theme. And I thought we needed a little, table. So this was made out of painter sticks. You know the paint sticks you get to stir paint?
Oh my goodness.
So I thought they're a perfect size and a perfect width for stuff.
Exactly.
The top is not that. The top is thinner.
Right.
But the base and everything is made out of painter sticks.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I like the little hinges.
It's amazing what you can do, and it's got the little things on the sides here too.
Very good.
And I found this little anchor at Lens Mills in the midst of all that mess.
They have amazing things at Lens Mills.
Yes, they do. So there's that. I've been working on that. And then, of course, we talked about before the buttons for that thing. And here's some of the buttons that I made. I made those for Colleen for her cowls. Made quite a few for you. You can pick and choose. And then I found this while I was looking for this wood, I found some dark wood.
Oh, I like that
I thought you might like little buttons.
Really
They're smaller.
Nice. Yeah, it's great.
It's too bad that I couldn't find bigger wood for those.
That's okay. It's really, really nice.
Yeah. So that's what I've been up to, and that's my crafting adventures.
And we have been busy, that's for sure.
We have certainly been busy. Lots to do.
Okay, so next we're going to talk about our souvenirs.
Colleen, I actually have souvenirs this time.
That's fantastic.
I don't usually have souvenirs, but I have souvenirs. So I have this Stanley pocket plane.
Oh my goodness.
Now, it's not like a regular plane. I'm going to try it out. I'll let you know how it works.
Okay.
I just joined two pieces of wood together, and I wanted to just plane it simple.
Oh, okay.
And this the one, I don't know. It was cheaper than a regular plane. Like a regular hand plane was like $50. This was like $14. So I didn't want to go crazy. And I don't know if I'm going to use a plane that much. So we'll see how that works.
Well, and you are just using little things.
Yes. Well, yes, you're correct. It's not going to be like everyday planing thing. I haven't used that.
If it doesn't work, we'll get you the other one.
Now, another thing I go through a lot of is stain. And I have various different colors of stain, but my go-to stain really is called Espresso. Not Espresso, which I've been saying for years. Until that commercial came out, I was always saying Espresso. Did you know that? And now it's Espresso.
There you go. We're so much smarter because we watch TV.
It's the commercials that, teach us all this stuff.
Exactly.
So it even says ESPRESSO, Espresso.
There you go.
So how we came up with Espresso, I don't know. But it's Espresso wood finish. I love this wood finish. And with wood finishes, you never, shake them up. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
You know how when you get a can of paint, you shake it? No, you always have to stir wood finishings.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because it kind of gets a thicker thing on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
And so you have to stir it.
Oh,
so it blends in. But anyway, that is my favorite color. And that's probably why I need another can of that. And this goes a long way too.
I can imagine it would.
Now, as you know, we play pickleball. And my first experience, like we had taken lessons, which was fine. We weren't really playing a game, so it was okay.
Right.
And I would be wearing this sports bra. You know, I think we can talk about bras here because like we're mature
we can.
women, and most of our audience is women, not mature women necessarily,
Right.
but women.
That's right.
And so we're playing pickleball and we're taking lessons, and everything's fine. But then we went to the first game. And the whole game, I don't know, you didn't play against
No,
me
I was
usually.
no, I was taking my mom
I
to the
was
dentist.
cranking, my bra was up around my neck. And I was like,
You must have been playing
pulling it
furiously.
down. I was like, oh, I can't do this. Like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? Terrible
Okay.
sports bra I had on. So anyway, so I went out to Marshall's and I got myself a New Balance sports bra, which is absolutely the bomb. So I've been playing with it, no cranking, not around my neck.
Actually concentrate on the game.
And it is so supportive. And if you ever need a sports bra, I would recommend that. I just want to let you know, like, you need to know these things.
Exactly.
And I bought another one that is, that's a New Balance one. And I have bought another Nike one or a Puma one.
Yeah.
And I'll have to let you know how that works out. But this has been heaven.
Good.
Total heaven.
You have to be able to concentrate on the game.
Yanking it around my neck. Like, I could see people look at me, what is she doing? Anyway, so then Colleen, because she likes to buy shoes,
Every once in a while.
came home with a nice present for me.
I did.
And she bought me some court shoes.
Indoor court shoes.
Indoor
yeah.
court shoes. Now I have a pair of court shoes that are, I mean, they're still not bad shape, but I've had them probably for 10 years.
Yes, I would imagine.
And I haven't worn them outside, but these are great. These look like they'd be good. I haven't worn them yet. So thank you for that little gift. So
You are very welcome.
I'm so happy with souvenirs. I'm so excited that I have
Exactly.
souvenirs.
There
Yeah.
you go.
So we'll give those a shot.
Okay,
And I'll
sounds
let you
good.
know how they work.
All right, and for me, surprisingly enough, there's a book involved. And this is the Gansey Knitting Source Book by Di Gilpin and Sheila Greenwell.
I know you like books. You came
I
home
love
with a
books.
magazine the other day that had Michelle Obama on
Yep,
it.
Vogue Knitting.
Vogue Knitting, Michelle Obama on the
And
front
it's
cover.
a good article. So yeah, I would recommend picking up that magazine, that's for sure.
So, Michelle Obama, if you're watching, we think you're awesome. We brought
Exactly.
the book. Good for you being on a knitting magazine.
Exactly.
So we appreciate that.
Very good.
And that's all you have for?
No.
Oh,
no.
I was thinking this is.
So this
Yeah.
is part of the reason that the Gansey hats happened. So I didn't have the book when I designed the hats, but I thought I want to know a little bit more about Gansey knitting techniques. So there's patterns involved. You can take a look. They show you how to do some of the textures. It's a really nice book. I haven't spent a lot of time with it yet, but it was my birthday a little while ago, and so I wanted to use some of my birthday money.
That'll be a nice. That does look like a good book.
It
Just
is a
when you
great book.
look like a how-to book kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there are some patterns, so that shows you
Oh,
how
there's
to.
a map of Scotland, Britain.
There you go.
It's got to be a
Exactly.
good book.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Nice.
So that's that. So my next souvenir, another part of my birthday, and this is from May. And here it is. So I picked up, well, I ordered. This is one of the Cocoa Knits. I don't know what they talked about it being. It's the bin. It is washable paper. And so it's really neat. And I got the handles that go with it. So now I think when you buy this, the handles come with it. Where the place that I was ordering it from, it was separate. You can get longer handles. And I think that's why they separated it out a little bit. So that was the start of it. Because I had purchased some Cocoa Knits accessories. And I thought, I want to have them all in the same spot. So I've just got here right now the things that I got. And this was from May for my birthday.
Now, did this come with the? Did it come with things inside it? Is it magnetic?
Yeah, I'm thinking, what is going on? Anyway, I'm thinking, where did that? Oh, yeah, it's attached. Okay. I seem to have that happen a lot. So that's the first part. And then I bought this. Now I have a Knit Picks one, but I wanted to get the Cocoa Knits one, partly because they have rulers and needle gauges that go with it.
You can't hold it up because it'll fall, or?
No, it's all magnetic. It's
Oh.
not falling anywhere.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go. So it comes with magnets here. These are magnetic as well. And this, there you go. There are some other magnets in there. Whoops. it's very magnetic. So I'm just going to show you these. So these come as well. These ones I purchased separately. So, yeah.
Do you find this handy when you knit?
Yes, absolutely. Especially when you're doing, you know, without that knitting paper.
Graph paper?
Yeah, graph paper works really well.
Nice.
So I'm really happy with that, and it will
Good.
stand up nicely, and it sits nicely in this bin.
Now, did it come in the bin or no? The bin is a separate
No, the
oh.
bin's a separate
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Yes, you were very gracious for me for my birthday. And the other thing that I did was I picked up this. So this is this stitch counter, row counter, I guess. And it goes right on top of that. And I picked this up because I love that color. Now, I have another one of these that's gray, and you're probably going, I thought it was gray.
I thought so too, yeah.
But because I knit and because I sew, I can put one on down where I'm sewing and have pins and needles on there
okay.
while I'm doing that.
Oh, I see. Counted on there. But you can
Exactly.
use this for pins too.
Exactly.
It's got a little film thing on it.
Yes, it does. It's coming off
Protected.
once it's,
Okay.
right now
That's
it's new.
good. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm really, really happy with that.
Yeah.
So thank you for my
Little
birthday.
gadget. You're welcome.
Yes, and so I do have other coconut things that will go in, but these are the birthday ones, so I wanted to say that. So
That's a kind of a neat bag. When I first picked it up, I thought, what is that material? Like, it's weird.
I know, and we were in,
See, it's got little pockets and everything.
yeah,
in it.
there's pockets everywhere. It's really, really a neat thing.
Yeah. Wow.
I really like it. So we were in, I think we were in Michigan, and they were talking about this washable paper, and I thought, I don't really understand any of it. So sometimes you don't. And
I
that,
have washable, you may not know this, but I have washable sandpaper.
excuse me.
Yeah, there's sandpaper that you wash.
Okay.
So
Every
there
day's
you
a
go.
school day.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So those are my souvenirs. Thank you very much for my birthday. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching. Comment down below. Let us know if there's any crafts you want us to attempt, or if there's any places you'd like us to go visit. I mean, we're just starting that. I mean, obviously the snow's coming and we have to deal with that. But we like doing adventures for you, whether it's a craft adventure or a traveling adventure. We like doing that.
So please subscribe so that we can have more subscribers.
Right.
Our goal is 1,000.
Exactly.
So we'd appreciate you subscribing so we can
And
get there.
that's right. Give us a thumbs up.
Yep.
And so until next time.
You take care.